What's good, YouTube? We're back again this time. We're going to be talking about Ater, ATER, however you want to say stock. Technical analysis that I did on October 18, 2021. I wrote the title Breakout Bollinger Bands because if you saw the Bollinger Bands, which I'm going to show again today on this technical analysis video, as an indicator, they were very tight. So it was inevitable that they were going to expand. And I was very assured, if you want to use that term, that it was going to expand to the upside, given the fact that it was coming from a falling wedge. And when it comes from a descending wedge, when it breaks upwards if you trade it. So, ironically, Chuck Avery wrote trash, right? The very same day he wrote trash, October 18th. So then the next day, the trash video that he thinks is trash, right, proves to be right the very next day. 9.54, it was up over 16% at one point. It opened at 820, it had a low of 811, went up 16.48%. I said the Bollinger Bands were very tight. So when they're very tight, they expand. And this time they broke out to the upside, like I said on the video. So I was 100% correct. And I said I was going to trade this by using options, given that it was going to have an inevitable breakout. And I was very assured that it would be to the upside. So I did call options and I definitely made gains. So congrats to anybody who did on that type of trade. I feel bullish still, like you could extend maybe, obviously not financial advice, but if I were to do it, I would extend to a longer expiration, given the fact that it's over 9 still, and that's bullish because it has a breakout from the falling wedge, so it's going to try to keep going for this reversal of going for the uptrend now. Of course, it will behave like a wave and do its up and downs, but instead of the falling wedge, now it's going to reverse to do like this to the upside. Okay, so let's just go to the graph. I'm looking at some other stocks here, but let's see. ATER, currently it's at 9.35. Today it was up 2.75%. And these were the Bollinger Bands that I was talking about. You see how tight they were? So this was in 18, okay? They were very tight. So if you see something like this and it's just gotten to the point where it's right here, let me remove some of these. Well, these are the two indicators I want, but let me remove the Bollinger Bands just for one moment. It's falling. And then it stays flat after this falling wedge. It's going to have a move to the upside. And you could see this, how it happened. Once you actually put the Bollinger Bands here, you see how tight this was? It just kept going tight, so it's going to break. And where did it break? It broke to the upside, so it went up to 10 from having a low of, imagine if you got in here, there was a point in time around this area that it was at 8. And that's a good trade for options if you know how to trade it. Make 30%, 20%. Very good. Especially if you look at how those options behave. You could even look at the graph for the options. It was the November 19 one. Yeah, the November 19 one. They were very tight. Just look at it right here. They were very tight. So imagine if you brought it at $1 per contract, it went up to $1.90. So that's a good trade right there for sure. It's a good trade. A lot of indicators. So now Ater stock. If you want to do something more midterm, it's in a good position because it's basically the movement for a midterm, even still short term. As long as it maintains over 9, I feel like the upside is there. You could even look at this because when you take the extended hours off in the 4 hour, it still hasn't done the golden cross. So let me show you the golden cross as this loads right here because The problem with this is, since I'm recording the screen, it's actually a bit more tougher for the laptop to gain the power and the energy because I'm recording the screen, I'm recording the microphone, and I'm using shorts with a lot of indicators. So it's like a lot of capacity that the laptop has to actually work with. But right here, you can see the MA. If we see the 50 MA, which is the purple one on my indicators. I put a purple. The 200 MA, which is the longer moving average, 200-day moving average, is red. So when the 50 MA crosses over the 200 MA, what happens? It goes for upside momentum. You could even look at it in other periods of time. When has it done this and crossed? Well, let's look. Let me make sure I have it here. Yep. Right here. It crossed it, went above the red line, the purple line, and we had this momentum. As long as we kept being over the purple line, we kept going to the upside. Then when it touched with the purple line, we started going down. We went up to 49 at that point. I wasn't in the trade. But it hasn't done that in the 4 hour until now. Look, it's about to go for it again, indicating it has eventual upside in the horizon. That's what it uses the MA for. So this is why I say it's, even if you're doing it in a swing trade like midterm, it's in a great position. And even when I say midterm, it doesn't have to be extensively long. I feel like it's in a great position right now. Obviously, when you see the indicators, the stock indicator right here is pretty high. So I expect it to cool off before we keep going up. I mean, we had a 16% day at one point, October 19th. So it's normal for this to, once it expands, retraces a bit, then keeps moving up and retraces and keeps moving up and retracing, then it'll have a bigger move again. And this is what happens when you see Elliott wave. 1 wave, 2 is corrective, 3 is impulsive, 4 is corrective, 5 is impulsive, so it goes like this. That's why you always see those graphs like that. Okay? And that's going to be the case right here. Once these actually cross and they maintain cross with the purple line being above it after crossing it from below, notice how it happens at the time when it's starting to expand in the 4 hour also. So if it expands to the upside, you have these indicators indicating for upside. It broke the falling wedge into a reversal to the upside. Then you have a good midterm analysis for the stock. When would you sell? That's obviously up to you. I'd be looking at 15 and 19 around those ranges. I'd be looking at 12 too because I know there's bag holders that might be resistance because they might sell, try to get out because they got in at a not so good time compared to others. That's going to be it for this. I wanted to talk about that. I feel like that's what I have. If you want to look at the weekly though, the weekly is it's looking not bad given the fact that indicators aren't very high. I think the one that looks very, very good is the daily. Let me make sure it's that one. Yeah, look at the stock indicator; it's very low. It's about to just turn to green right here. And the RSI is not high at all. So I think it looks very good. But I'm glad my trade was successful. I hope anybody made some gains at the same time, not just me, right? But if you're looking for TA for midterm, maybe short term too, I feel like it's not going to take that long because there's a lot of gamma on November. So I feel like we're going to see more movement up. So I feel like you're in a good position if you have a cost basis near this area, near 8 or 9. If you have a higher cost basis, then that's tough, right? But it's all about your entry point when trading equities. Unless you're holding as an investor, quote unquote, then obviously you look more at fundamentals.